September 25th, 1957. A world-renowned snake expert makes a mistake. He gets bitten. But instead of rushing to the hospital, he does something that sounds completely insane. He looks at his watch, pulls out his diary, and begins documenting his own death. Word by word, symptom by symptom. He treats his own dying body as a scientific experiment. His final entry was just one incomplete word: excessively. Within 24 hours, Dr. Carl Patterson Schmidt would be dead, bleeding from his eyes, lungs, and heart. This is the diary of the man who wrote until he died. To understand why he didn't call for help, you have to understand who Carl Schmidt was. He wasn't an amateur. By 1957, he was essentially the godfather of herpetology. He had named over 200 species and had been handling the world's deadliest serpents for 40 years without a single serious bite. On that September morning, a zoo director sent him a mystery snake for identification. It was a juvenile, about 30 inches long. Schmidt identified it as a boomslang. Now, here is the critical context. In 1957, science got it wrong. The boomslang is a rear-fanged snake. Because their fangs are located at the back of the mouth, not the front like a viper, the scientific consensus was that they couldn't effectively bite a human. There wasn't a single recorded human death from a boomslang. Schmidt believed he was holding a harmless animal. Schmidt picked up the snake to examine its scales. He noted the anal plate was undivided. But then he made a simple movement. He took the snake from a colleague without securing the head. The snake opened its mouth nearly 180 degrees and struck. One rear fang scratched the fleshy part of his left thumb. The wound was tiny, barely 3 millimeters deep, just a scratch. Schmidt wasn't worried. He sucked the wound, wrapped it, and went back to work. He even took the commuter train home to the Chicago suburbs that evening. But inside his body, a biological time bomb had been triggered. On the train ride home, the venom began to work. It was a potent hemotoxin, a poison that destroys the blood's ability to clot. Schmidt opened his journal.
4:30 p.m. Strong nausea but without vomiting. 5:30 p.m. Strong chill and shaking followed by fever. By evening, his gums began to bleed spontaneously. According to reports, his family urged him to call a doctor. Schmidt refused. He reportedly said, "No, that would upset the symptoms." He was prioritizing the data over his life.
By evening, his gums began to bleed spontaneously. According to reports, his family urged him to call a doctor. Schmidt refused. He reportedly said, "No, that would upset the symptoms." He was prioritizing the data over his life. He slept but woke at midnight. The entry is chilling.
Urination at 12:20 a.m., mostly blood.
His kidneys were failing. He was literally passing blood. Yet, the next morning, he made breakfast. He felt better. This is a cruel trick of hemotoxins, the lucid interval before the crash. By midday, the crash arrived. He was struggling to breathe. He sat down to write one last observation about his condition. He wrote the word excessively. Excessively what? Painful? Nauseous? Bleeding? We will never know. He collapsed. When help finally arrived, he was unresponsive. He was rushed to Ingalls Memorial Hospital, but he was pronounced dead at 3 p.m., exactly 24 hours after the bite. The autopsy was horrific. Schmidt had suffered disseminated intravascular coagulation. His blood had formed thousands of tiny clots, using up all his clotting factors, leaving the rest of his blood as thin as water. He bled into his lungs, his brain, his heart, and his eyes. For decades, people asked, did his stubbornness kill him? If he had gone to the hospital, would he have lived? In 2017, researchers analyzed the case. The tragic answer is probably not. In 1957, the only antivenom for boomslangs was in South Africa. The hospitals in Chicago had nothing that could stop this specific venom. Even if he had panicked, the result likely would have been the same. Carl Schmidt's death wasn't in vain. His diary proved once and for all that rear-fanged snakes can be lethal. His final experiment changed safety protocols forever, likely saving the lives of countless herpetologists who came after him. He didn't just leave behind a diary. He left behind a warning, written in his own blood. If you found this case fascinating, hit the like button so this story spreads. And for more deep dives into the science of snakes, click that subscribe button right now.